Time to find out if you like it or not. I'm producer Chris, and tonight we are talking about everything from Halloween costume parties and whether it's rude to show up not dressed up. We're talking about wedding tattoos. We're also talking about getting left on red. And my favorite story of the night, millennial age dysmorphia and whether or not you have it. So Jim, let's show everybody how to join the conversation. There are a lot of different ways. We're streaming. So you can join the YouTube chat if that's where you're watching us. If you're watching our YouTube live stream, sorry, I already said that. But we'll check those comments coming up a little later if you leave them there. If you're watching on our website or you're watching on Fox Local on your phone, you want to join the Zoom room, I have a link to the Zoom room posted on my Instagram page, Fox 5 Producer Chris, Fox 5 Producer Chris. Also on TikTok, that's where we're live behind the scenes right now. Apple user just joined. Thanks so much. If you're watching on Fox Local on your connected TV, though, and you want to join the Zoom room, all you got to do is scan the QR code that's up on the screen right now, either one of them, or you can punch it in the old-fashioned way, 892-0982-4674. We'll say hi to all of our virtual co-hosts in just a second. We'll also welcome in Saida Abbas. She is our weekend Fox 5 streaming host and producer. She's also a reporter here on Fox 5. She just did the 7 o'clock version over on Fox Local. So we'll say hello to her and check in with her when she makes it here. In the meantime, let's dive right in. And our top story tonight is the Halloween countdown, because we are now just, 2 days away from the holiday. And this video is terrifying. With the holiday falling on a Friday night, though, a lot of adults may be heading to costume parties. But what if dressing up is not your vibe? That's what we're talking about tonight. A column in the New York Times asks, if you are invited to a Halloween party and you don't want to wear a costume, should you still go? Will it ruin the vibe if you do not dress up? The author says that if you are invited to a costume party, it's respectful to the host to engage in some way with the dress code. Doesn't mean you got to go all out, but you have to engage in some way and dive into character. So, Saida, as you make your way in and join us tonight, we're talking about Halloween costumes, showing up to a party not dressed up. Are you killing the vibe? Do you like that or not?
Boo! I think you are killing the vibe, because it's Halloween. You should dress up. What do you think?
I mean, I can understand not necessarily wanting to go all out. Some people but you know, you can wear like one of those little like opera masks or something like that. Just do something. Just don't be boring. All right, David's in the Zoom room. Or, should I call him George Washington tonight? What are you starring in a regional production of Hamilton, sir?
I love it.
Is your mic open? All right, we might be having some issues with David. I'm going to try Allison now and see if we can hear Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Uh-oh. We might be having some issues here tonight.
So Halloween nightmare.
We're trying all the buttons. I see you, David. I see you pushing the buttons. We're working on it. In the meantime, I'm going to keep moving on this story. But, you know, if you have a friend who's throwing a costume party, you know what the right thing to do is. You know whether you're going to kill the vibe or not.
Yeah, just be a mouse. Make an effort.
Exactly. Just draw some lines on your face. All right, Jim's going to keep working on that audio here. In the meantime, but speaking of Halloween, let's talk about candy now, because we've got some scary news for chocolate lovers if you're heading out trick-or-treating this year. Because market research and technology company Circana says people are buying more non-chocolate candies to give out on Halloween. Last year, chocolate made up 52% of the total volume of Halloween candy sold in the United States. This year, sales dropped to 44%. One major reason why is that chocolate prices are going up. So shoppers are opting for sweet treats like gummies, freeze-dried candy, and other colorful candies. So Saida, skipping chocolate on Halloween, do you like that or not?
I like it, and I was outnumbered on like it or not, but I do believe that if chocolate is so expensive, what is the point, you guys? Everything is just going up in prices, plus Skittles and Starburst, way better.
Oh, yeah.
And you can disagree with me, but chocolate gets messy too in your hands.
Yeah, that's true, and also it can melt if it's a warm Halloween night. You don't really have those issues with the gummy candies nearly as much. But one of the things that I saw too is a lot of the traditional chocolate makers are now adding other ingredients. So that's why you see a lot of things like the green Snickers bars and like the white chocolate Reese cups and everything. They're like finding new ways to experiment so that they're using less chocolate in your traditional cheap chocolates. It sounds like we may have our audio back. So David, I'm going to toss it back out to you, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Whew.
Okay, glad we can communicate now. Yes, this is General Washington speaking to you. Hamilton was one of my underlings at one point, so yes. Halloween, if chocolate price is going up, guess what? People, you gotta bust out your wallet, pay more. The chocolate's worth it.
David, do you like handing out candy that you personally prefer? Or do you try to like guess what kids might be into and hand that out instead?
Man, that's a tough question. I have to fight the urge to try to keep my favorite candies for myself. And, but I mean, you can see if some kids come to the door and they particularly want something, you feel good to give them something that they want.
Yeah, that's fair. Allison, welcome back to the Lion Zoom room. Hopefully we got our issues all straightened out. Thanks for your patience.
Sure. All right. So yeah, about the chocolate situation. So chocolate is really for the parents. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of parents I know, including myself, we are chocolate thieves. We go through the candy and we take the chocolate or most of it out of the kids' bags and keep it for ourselves. That's an admission that happens. But yeah, I think the kids more like the gummy and the sour and all that other stuff. They're not into the chocolate as much as adults are.
I see Melissa shaking her head. Melissa, do you agree with that?
I agree with her to a certain extent. So me personally, after the kids were gone, I don't do trick or treats. I don't give out candy. I don't do any of that. I put a sign on my door, no tricks, no treats. However, my nieces / grandchildren, what I do is I do exactly what Addison says. I will take all the chocolate and let them have all the gooey, sticky, gummy, colorful stuff, but all the chocolate, I try to take it as much as I possibly can. And I enjoy each and every minute of it. So.
Yeah, I think somebody's got to check in with like our dental lobby out there because I'm sure they love every second of everybody getting into these gummy candies because they're way worse for you because they linger on the teeth and all of those cavities start to form. It's not going to stop me, but I know that it's bad for you. All right, let's move on, talk about relationships now, because a couple in Texas just celebrated their wedding day. You may have seen this story in the last hour. And when the pastor said you may now kiss the bride, the couple kissed for the very first time. Their names are Caitlin and Drew Brown. They started dating 4 years ago. Decided to wait until their wedding day, not just to consummate the marriage, but even waiting to kiss each other until they were legally husband and wife. They say kissing could lead to more intimacy, so they wanted to hold off on all of that until they were married. They even made sure they were never alone together to resist temptation. So waiting for your wedding day for your first kiss. You said you like this.
I think it's really sweet. It's nice to see people prioritizing emotional intimacy before the physical stuff. If it's not for you, I get it. But, you know, in this day and age, all that stuff can come later. So I respect them for waiting.
I understand. And I do agree that it depends on each couple. However,
yes.
Allison, as I have made clear on this show multiple times, I'm a huge Love is Blind fan. The reunion drops 9 o'clock tonight on Netflix. Just throwing that out there
Such a good
for
show.
anyone interested. And it has proven to be a disaster. A disaster just relying on this emotional connection instead of the physical necessarily. Do you like this or not?
Not necessarily. So what I think would be a better thing is it's like a car. You want to test drive it before you take it off the lot. So I think I would want to kind of test everything like physically, like seeing what you're about or whatever. Then after we've been dating, we can take a vow of celibacy or whatever, not have physical interaction and then wait for the wedding night. But I have to know something before I spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah, I see Melissa shaking her head and pumping her fist to that.
All right, so chaperoning was always a big thing in my household. My children were chaperoned until the day that they got married. As far as for me, I'm a huge kisser. That is a huge turn on. I'm sorry, but I need to know that you know how to maneuver that tongue and have soft lips and fresh breath. I cannot wait till the day I get married to kiss someone who I'm going to be intimate with, both emotionally, physically, mentally. It doesn't matter. I need to kiss you. I need to know that that's the start of everything. Kissing is the start of everything. And while I can respect everybody's values and how they look at things, kissing would be one of those things that I would do way before I got married. I'm sorry.
I understand that. So, David, not even being alone together for the fear that it could lead to more temptation. Now, don't you think that couples need to kind of know what they're getting into a little bit?
I do. I understand the thought behind it that these people might have. It's pretty much straight out of the Bible. And the Bible kind of views physical intimacy as it in itself as a sin. And the only reason you should really be intimate with your partner is expressly for the deliberate purpose of having children. That's what the Bible says. Now, that may work for some people. You can have your level of belief or not. I don't think that's what worked best. I think, like physical intimacy is a dimension of a relationship that needs to be developed like anything else and need to explore and make sure you got the right chemistry. So this waiting to your first kiss on the wedding day is not how I would do it, but I can understand how, people's beliefs could lead them towards that.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on the couple. You can keep weighing in on all these stories in our chat, by the way, over on YouTube. We'll check them in just a minute. Speaking of weddings, though, we talked earlier this week about wedding guest books, how they have kind of evolved into new high-tech versions. And that's not the only changing tradition. Take a look at this one. How about commemorating your wedding with a tattoo? That's what one couple did, hiring an artist to ink their guests during the reception if they chose. A guest posted about the experience on Instagram. The comments section, a little split, admittedly. So do you like this idea of a wedding day tattoo?
What kind of tattoo?
Oh, it all depends. It depends on the person, I guess.
I mean, I'm Pakistani, so at our weddings, we do like henna tattoos, which are temporary, so it's much different, but it's fun. If you're hardcore like that, good for you. I wouldn't do a permanent one at my wedding.
No, I get that. I mean, I absolutely would do this, and I love this idea. If I went to someone else's wedding, it would depend on if they had like a page. I mean, obviously, anyone who has watched Fox 5 long enough knows that I got the brand of pizza tattooed on myself because they asked me to. So I'm highly suggestible. Melissa, what do you think? Would you do this?
I have tattoos, and I would definitely get another tattoo if it was something that was given as a gift. Can I choose what I want? Yes. If it's something that they're choosing for us to have, no. But if it's something where I have a choice and where it goes, yes. But then again, you also got to think about it's a wedding. Do you really want to sit there for 30, 40 an hour to do that? Or would you rather do that on your personal time and enjoy, the person's wedding who you're going to? I mean, yeah. It's give or take. So
I 100% agree. Allison, you would also have the sound of an electric needle going in the background of all of your all of your videos and pictures, probably.
I mean, I just definitely would not do this because to me, tattoos are something that's supposed to be close to your heart. So again, I have a lot of people that I have 5 children. I don't care if all of them got married tomorrow. None of them would have tattoos on my body about that. But one, we don't know how long that relationship is going to work. And again, that should just be something for me, not about someone else's relationship tattooed on my body. No.
Yeah. For all we know, they were tattoo artists and just had, one of their friends come in and he was already at the reception, he or she was already at the reception and decided just to kind of make it a special occasion. All right, speaking of relationships, last week we talked about Dakota Johnson, remember? And what she said was a major red flag. In her case, she said men wearing flip-flops were a red flag. This one might be even weirder. Take a listen.
If a man takes the booth seat at a restaurant and leaves you to sit in the head of the table chair, he's not your man.
Not your man for sitting in the booth and leaving you on the outside seat. Do you like this? Do you think this is a red flag?
I mean, there's so many red flags now. And I think sometimes someone's done that to me because they said I looked too tall when I was sitting in the booth and they didn't like that I was taller than them.
Interesting.
But it really depends. I don't mind it. I don't think it's a red flag.
Not a red flag.
I mean, I guess For you, it's a red flag, or you've done it, Chris. I know you have.
I am guilty of this. I have done it, but I also do agree that it's a red flag. I'll explain why in a minute.
You're
but
a red
first,
flag.
I do want to go to David as the other guy in the group right now, and then I'm going to go to Freddie and find out what he thinks. But David, do you think this is a red flag?
The sitting at the head of the booth, is that the
So
red flag?
if there's a table that has one chair and a booth, and
You take the booth.
you choose the booth.
Yeah. I think that is something that could get on your nerves and worth a second look on the person, you know? So long as we say red flag it's just something, a thing that makes you go, you know, then that's fine. But if we're talking that's a deal breaker, that one incident, come on, you're being too strict and too tough.
Okay, that's fair. Freddie, what do you think?
So, producer, can you hear me?
Yes?
Let me tell you something. So, dating a red flag, it depends on the relationship. I mean, it depends on what's for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I did something wrong to a woman, or I did something wrong to a girl, then yes, that there are some red flags that could happen. Like, let's say I lied to my girlfriend.
Yeah, that would be a red flag for sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a red
exactly.
Melissa,
How are you, Seda? Nice to meet you.
if you go on a date, it's a first date, let's imagine, with a guy, and there's a seat and there's the booth, and he takes the booth. Do you think it's a red flag?
Personally, the girl who did that, the clip that you just showed, she looked like she just got out of diapers. Okay, today's generation is lost. Me personally, I don't want to sit at the booth because if God forbid something breaks down, I am quick. My reflexes are so quick. Remember, I worked in public safety for a really long time. The quicker I can grab a chair and defend myself or block me and my date from something flying towards us, even better. And I'm watching everything. I got my peripheral vision is all over the place. So I don't mind sitting there. I don't see why people find that as a red flag. Maybe he had a worse day than I did. And maybe he, has something on his mind. But why are you choosing to have red flags over the most stupidest things?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Allison, I'm going to explain to you why I do think it is kind of a red flag, but also why I have been guilty of this. I think in this sort of situation, it means that the person sitting in the booth has the view of the entire restaurant and can kind of look at everything that's going on. The person who is sitting in the chair has to either stare directly at their date or a wall. And so I have done it to people before because I knew that they would be so distracted by everything else going on that they would never pay attention and focus on the conversation. So I did choose to sit in the booth as a result because I knew I could pay attention. But on the other hand, I understand that sometimes I have to be the one to just stare at a wall.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, and that's why communication is good. It's good to say these things. And like everything that Melissa just said, I'm completely there. I've been through a lot of trauma and tragedy, so I have to face the door.
Yep.
Like I have to get ready to get out if something is going on. I have to know where the exits are.
Don't want your back to it, exactly.
Exactly. So I always let the person know. Usually it'll be like, okay, where would you like to sit? The gentleman will ask me, or else I'll make it clear I need to face the door, and it's never been an issue. So again, that something like that could have been the love of her life. That could have been the man that was going to treat her like a king, a queen.
That's right.
And she's going to be so upset
Writing
about
him
a
off.
chair. Like, she's a problem. She's a problem.
All right, everybody, you can keep the comments coming over on YouTube. We'll check those coming up in just a second. Coming up next, though, we're talking about how your iPhone could be ruining your friendships, and we're talking about millennial age dysmorphia. It's my favorite story of the day. We'll be right back.
How are you guys doing tonight?
if you are not.
Five, four, three,
Stay right over there.
2.
Welcome back to Do You Like It or Not on this Wednesday night. This is the part of the show where we check those YouTube comments. West Virginia Ben, thank you for weighing in as always. It's like Verizon. Can you hear me now? Yeah, we worked it out. You know, it's live. It's live. It's not a TV show. It's streaming, you know. Anyway, let's see what else. West Virginia Ben. I have heard marriages of people who wait last longer. Could be true. I was not one of those people. Wish me luck. Table or booth is personal preference. Let's see. Raina, this is what's occurring in the show. All right. I don't even know what that means. Do millennials have the wherewithal to keep adjusting the read receipt setting or modifying it for each contact? Born in 81, so borderline millennial. All right, well, let's get into it. We're talking about texting, West Virginia, Ben, and we are talking about read receipts. A phone feature that is supposed to make communicating easier is apparently frustrating people, and it is the read receipt. Most phone and text messaging apps give you the receipts when someone has read a text that you sent. But communication experts say leaving people on read can ruin your friendship. If a reply doesn't come quickly or within a time frame your friend deems appropriate, they might get upset. Experts say read receipts aren't the problem. Your expectations about instant replies are. So, being left on read by your friends, do you like it or not?
I don't like it, and I disagree with those experts. We all know what we're doing now. If you really need space, you should put your phone on Do Not Disturb or focus mode. I think leaving somebody on red is a little rude, and you know what you're doing. And I used to do it when I was younger to like piss somebody off. So I just think there's like definitely shade behind leaving somebody on red, but that's just me.
I don't disagree at all. I do think that we live in an age where almost everyone has their phone on them at all times. And so when you get that response of like, oh, sorry, I didn't see this message, like you can probably call BS on it, but I am super guilty of seeing someone's message, being like, oh, I'm going to reply, and then completely forgetting. Chad just joined us. Welcome back, Chad.
Thanks. I took a nice long walk from the gym.
All right.
I missed the bus.
That's all right.
So read receipts. I have one friend who has her read receipts on. I don't like it. I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb all day long, and I just have, you can set it to where like your girlfriend or your mother can text you through or whatever. But I don't like the read receipts.
All right, fair enough. Melissa, this is why I always maintained I was a huge fan of being an Android user, because there was that non-cross compatibility between the iPhones. You know, you guys were all on your iMessage and you could see what, you know, the bubbles popping up. But now that we all have RCS messaging or whatever the hell it is, everyone can see whether I've seen it and whether I read it.
I'm guilty of doing that. I'm like Chad. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb all day because I do teach classes. However, if I do read a text message, I try my very best to respond back to it. However, there are times where I may fall asleep, or you know, I'm teaching a class and I can't do it. But I would be really upset if you left me on red. As a boomer / Gen Xer, I would get upset. No, answer me, send me something, or hold on, or wait a minute, or I'll get back to you. Something, do something.
Okay, David, you get final say on this one.
Worried about that, or red flag.
Red flag. You're not worried about it.
Yeah. So you just got to give people time to respond. Maybe they looked at their message and we're in the middle of doing something. They got to get back to you. Maybe it's maybe they want time to think it through. You know, I wouldn't get offended at that.
Maybe they're driving and shouldn't be looking at their phone. I'm going to take the approach that everyone is just being so safe out there. I got 2 more stories. I want to try to fly through them. Melissa, you mentioned Gen X / Boomer. Let's talk about Gen Alpha for a second now, because they can claim credit for Dictionary.com's 2025 Word of the Year. I know there's 2 months left in the year. However, they're calling it right now. And apologies to all the parents of teens and tweens out there, but it is 6 7, and you see the explanation right there. If you don't know what it is, it's part inside joke, part social signal, and part performance. So, I'm not even going to read the rest of it, but the idea that the word of the year is a number, do you like this or not?
I like it. I think there were better ones that Gen Z came up with. It's a little boring, but I can respect it.
Okay. Melissa, are you familiar with this 6-7? Are you subjected to it?
So I teach and I have, adopted grandchildren who are 16, 17, 18 years of age. And they, try to keep me up with all the slang. However, putting it in the Webster dictionary, what the hell?
Yeah.
What is wrong with... No, absolutely not. I'm not with it. But then again, you go to 369, back in our era, and nobody knew what that was. But then, now you got this 6-7. It's kind of boring. If you can't attach it to something, leave it alone.
Yeah.
YOLO.
Jelani is joining us live tonight. Jelani, where are you watching from?
Hey, I'm in Charlotte, actually.
Okay, Charlotte, welcome to the show. We are talking about the word of the year, and once again, it is a nonsensical slang. 6-7. Do you like this or not?
I don't like it just because. So I've heard the song, I guess, where this comes from. So I'm really into good music, and the song that this derived from is just like ridiculous to me. But I do kind of agree with the 369, the whole thing, and people didn't kind of know what that was. I guess that was like the Yin Yang Twins or whatever. But I don't know, like this just derives from something just so ridiculous. I just can't get with it. And then to put it in a dictionary or something.
I know, right? We're never going to talk about this again. I mean, I'm even going to say like a year from now. So that's what, I mean, at least I guess we can look back and say, well, that's where we were as a culture. All right, I want to go from Gen Alpha now to millennials, my favorite story of the day, because apparently we're all suffering from the same delusion.
Yes.
Take a listen.
Millennial age dysmorphia is a real thing. I have it, and I think lots of us have it and don't realise. I think more of this generation has it than has ever had it before. I do not identify as the age that my paperwork says that I am, and it's always been like secret superflex that I thought that like other people are getting old, but I'm not getting older. I'm exempt from the aging process, and I will see someone that I went to school with or someone that I haven't seen for a long time. I will just think, God, they've gotten old, and then I think that's okay. I wouldn't say it's a smugness, but it's I'm sort of like soothing and comforting myself that like, but that's okay because you don't look any different. You're not actually getting older. I almost have like this inability to accept that the world around me perceives me to be the age that I am.
Yeah, that nails it right there. The top comment on that post, I'm 25 but was born in 1984. Make it make sense. Are you guilty of this? Millennial age dysmorphia.
I do, but also my first day here, somebody thought I was an intern. And I was like, guys, I'm not, I'm
right?
pretty old.
That's what perpetuates
But
this.
this is your favorite topic. What do you think?
I'm so incredibly guilty of this. And like I said, I want to like credit or blame my wife for gassing me up and telling me I look younger than I am. But I joked earlier that I blame the movie Father of the Bride for this because Steve Martin and Diane Keaton were 46 and 45 when they shot that movie in 1991. And that's what I thought 40-year-olds looked like. And here I am now. They are 2 and 3 years older than I am.
That's insane.
I don't dress anyway, but I am. Anyone can look at me and see my skinny jeans and they know I'm way older than they are. Laura's in the Lion Zoom room. Laura, save me from myself.
Do I have this millennial dysmorphia? But it's not my fault because my 15-year-old cousin a couple years ago thought I was 19. Yeah. And I was like, hey, if a 15-year-old thinks I'm 19, like, you know, that's not me doing it.
High praise, high praise. We're running out of time, but Allison, it's not just millennials, is it?
No, it's not. I am definitely in my 30s in my mind, and sometimes I will call my children my siblings because that's what it feels like. Like I play like I'm young, I dance like I'm young, I dress young. Like in my mind, I'm younger. I'm only 50 when my knees hurt. That's it.
Right. That's right. Thank you to everyone who joined us on the Lion Zoom room tonight. Thank you, Saida. Thank you for producer Jim. We'll be back 9 o'clock, and we are talking about the Taco Bell 50K. In the meantime, Tisha, next, Fox 5. We'll be right back.